Washington, D.C., 2022. The Cathedral of St. Matthew gleamed with white roses and crystal chandeliers. 300 guests filled the pews, senators, diplomats, the city's elite, all waiting for Elsie Hoffman's wedding to begin. The organ swelled, doors opened, but instead of the bride, 3 small girls appeared in matching ivory dresses with rose crowns. They walked down the aisle scattering petals, their dark curls bouncing, their brown skin glowing against the white flowers. Guests smiled, charmed. Then Mrs. Hoffman gasped. Her hand flew to her throat. Behind the girls walked a woman in a stunning rose-gold gown, Layla Perez. Her box braids were adorned with gold pins, her head held high, her eyes fixed straight ahead. Brandon Hoffman, the groom, stood frozen at the altar. His fiancée, Victoria, grabbed his arm. "Brandon," she whispered urgently, "who are those children?" The flower girls reached the front. They turned and waved at Layla, calling out, "Mama," loud enough for everyone to hear. If you've ever carried a secret that could shatter someone's carefully built life, what happens next will cut straight to your soul. Tell us where you're watching from. Your witness here matters. Elsie stepped forward with the microphone, smiling at her brother. 6 years before that wedding, Brandon Hoffman met Layla Perez at a Georgetown coffee shop. She was a barista finishing her nursing degree. He was a political consultant from one of D.C.'s most powerful families. Their connection was instant, undeniable. For 2 years they built a life together, quiet dinners, weekend trips, plans for a future that seemed inevitable. Then Brandon's mother, Catherine Hoffman, discovered the relationship. "You will end this immediately," Catherine said, her voice ice-cold in her Georgetown mansion study. "That woman has no pedigree, no connections, no money. The Hoffman name means something in this city." "I love her," Brandon protested weakly. "Then you'll love her from a distance. Choose her, and you lose everything. Your trust fund, your position at the firm, your place in this family." Brandon was 28 and terrified of losing his comfortable life. So he chose the money. He broke up with Layla without explanation, blocking her number before she could respond. 1 month later, Layla discovered she was pregnant, with triplets. She tried calling from different numbers, showed up at his office, sent letters. Brandon's response came through his family's lawyer. A cease and desist letter and an envelope containing $10,000 cash. "Make this go away," the note inside read. "Do not contact Brandon again, or we will pursue harassment charges." Layla stood in her small apartment, 3 ultrasound images in her hand showing 3 tiny heartbeats, and made a decision. She would raise these children alone, with dignity, asking nothing from the man who'd abandoned them. The triplets, Emma, Sophia, and Maya, were born premature but healthy. Layla worked 2 nursing jobs, moved to a cheaper apartment in Silver Spring, and built a life on sheer determination. She sent Brandon 1 email when they were born, 3 photos of newborns with his green eyes. "These are your daughters." He never replied. But someone else did reply, Elsie Hoffman, Brandon's younger sister, who'd found the email in Brandon's deleted folder. "I'm so sorry," Elsie wrote. "My family is wrong. Please let me know these children. They're my nieces." For 6 years, Elsie visited secretly, bringing gifts, building relationships, waiting for the right moment to force her family to face the truth. 2 months before her wedding, Elsie sat with Layla in a Silver Spring cafe. The triplets, now 5 years old, colored at the next table, their laughter filling the space. "I want them at my wedding," Elsie said quietly. "I want everyone to see them, to know them, to understand what Brandon did." Layla's expression hardened. "Your brother made his choice. We don't need his family. The girls deserve to know their father. Brandon deserves to face what he abandoned. Elsie leaned forward. My mother has controlled our family with money and fear for too long. Someone needs to stand up to her. Why me? Why my children? Because the truth matters. Because those girls are Hoffmans whether Catherine admits it or not. Elsie pulled out a wedding invitation. Please, just this once. Let them walk down that aisle where everyone can see them. Layla looked at her daughters. Emma, with her serious expression, Sophia with her dimples, Maya with her green eyes. What if this hurts them? Layla whispered. What if not doing it hurts them more? 2 months later, Layla stood with her daughters behind the cathedral doors, their flower girl dresses perfect, their faces nervous. As the triplets reached the altar, Elsie took the microphone. Everyone, I want you to meet 3 very special people. Emma, Sophia, and Maya Perez, my nieces, my brother Brandon's daughters. The cathedral erupted. Gasps, whispers, phones appearing from pockets. Mrs. Hoffman stood up so fast her chair toppled backward. Brandon, Catherine's voice echoed off the vaulted ceiling. What is the meaning of this? Brandon's face had drained of all color. Victoria released his arm, stepping back as if he'd become toxic. Elsie continued calmly. 6 years ago, my brother abandoned the woman he claimed to love because our mother threatened to cut him off financially. He knew about these children from the day they were born. He chose money over his own daughters. The cathedral's silence was absolute. 300 witnesses, all recording. Layla stood at the back, her hands on her daughter's shoulders, watching Brandon's perfect life unravel in real time. If you've ever watched someone finally face the consequences they've spent years avoiding, staying here is how we hold space for truth. Tell us where you're watching from. Every voice matters. Emma looked up at her mother. Mama, who is that man? The question carried in the silence, reaching every ear. Victoria's engagement ring hit the marble floor with a sharp crack. She'd ripped it off her finger and thrown it at Brandon's feet. You have children? Her voice shook with rage and betrayal. You lied to me for 3 years? Victoria, I can explain, Brandon started. Explain? Victoria laughed bitterly. You told me you wanted to start a family after the wedding. You already have a family. Catherine Hoffman rushed forward, her designer suit perfect, her face twisted with fury. Elsie, stop this immediately. This is your wedding day. Exactly, Elsie said. My day, my choice, and I choose the truth. She turned to the crowd. My family has built their reputation on appearances, on controlling narratives, on making problems disappear with money. But some problems are actually children. 3 beautiful girls who deserve better. Brandon finally found his voice. Elsie, please. No, Brandon. You had 6 years to do the right thing. You chose silence every single day. Sophia, one of the triplets, tugged on Layla's dress. Mama, I don't like it here. Everyone's yelling. Catherine turned her attention to Layla. You did this. You brought these children here to what? Layla's voice cut through sharp and clear. To exist? To be acknowledged? Behind them, the cathedral doors burst open again. Richard Hoffman, Brandon's father and Catherine's husband, entered the cathedral, his face grave. He'd been parking the car when the ceremony began. What's happening here? Richard's authoritative voice commanded attention. Elsie explained quickly. Richard listened, his expression unreadable. Then he walked slowly to where the triplets stood. He knelt down, examining their faces. Emma's serious eyes, Sophia's dimples, Maya's distinctive Hoffman green eyes. They look exactly like Brandon at that age, Richard said quietly. These are our grandchildren. Catherine grabbed his arm. Richard, don't what? Don't acknowledge the obvious? Richard stood up, addressing the crowd. My son abandoned 3 children because we taught him that reputation matters more than character. That's on us. That's on me. He turned to Brandon. Did you know about them? Brandon's silence was answer enough. Did you support them financially? I gave Layla money. $10,000 6 years ago, Layla said. For triplets. Do the math. Richard's jaw tightened. Get out. What? Brandon looked shocked. Get out of this cathedral. You don't deserve to be here. Victoria had already left, her bridesmaids rushing after her. Now Brandon stood alone, his perfect wedding day collapsing. Brandon looked around desperately, at his mother pleading silently for him to leave, at his father's disgusted expression, at Elsie's determined face, at Layla and the 3 small girls he'd never acknowledged. I was scared, Brandon said finally. I was 28 and scared of losing everything. So, you made 3 children lose everything instead, Elsie replied. You made them lose their father. Maya, the smallest triplet, stepped forward. Are you my daddy? The question hung in the air. Every phone in the cathedral captured this moment. A 5-year-old girl meeting her father for the first time at a wedding turned intervention. Brandon knelt down slowly. Yes, he whispered. Why didn't you come see us? Maya asked, her voice small but clear. I made a terrible mistake. Mama says when you make mistakes, you say sorry and try to be better. Maya tilted her head. Are you going to try to be better? 300 people waited for his answer. Catherine stepped forward. Brandon, think about your career. Shut up, Mother. The words came out harsh, final. Just shut up. He looked at Maya, then at Emma and Sophia. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know if I can be better, but I want to try. Richard nodded slowly. Then prove it. Elsie stepped forward again. The wedding will continue, but with some changes. She looked at Layla. Will you and the girls stay? I want them here, their family. Layla hesitated, then nodded. If they want to stay. Can we stay, Mama? Sophia asked. I like my dress. The tension broke slightly. A few people laughed nervously. Catherine tried one more time. Elsie, this is a disaster. Everyone is recording. This will be all over the news by tonight. Good, Elsie said. Let it be news. Let everyone know that the Hoffman family finally chose truth over image. She turned to the pastor. Can we continue? The pastor, clearly shaken, nodded. If everyone is ready. The ceremony resumed, surreal and strange. Elsie married her partner Michael, while her brother's secret children sat in the front row, while cameras recorded everything, while DC's elite whispered and texted and posted. During the vows, Emma raised her hand like she was in school. Excuse me? The pastor stopped mid-sentence. Yes, little one? If they're getting married, does that mean they'll stay together forever? Not like... She looked at Brandon. Not like some people who leave? Elsie's eyes filled with tears. Yes, sweetheart. Forever means forever. After the ceremony, as guests awkwardly filed to the reception, Richard approached Layla. Richard Hoffman sat across from Layla in a quiet room off the cathedral hall. The triplets played nearby under Elsie's supervision. I won't insult you with excuses, Richard began. My family failed those children. We taught Brandon that wealth was more important than integrity. That's on Catherine and me. What do you want? Layla asked directly. To be part of their lives, to support them financially, to give them what they should have had from birth. They don't need your money. We've managed fine. Have you? Richard looked at her worn shoes, her careful makeup hiding exhaustion. You work 2 jobs. You moved to a cheaper area. You've sacrificed everything. Let me help now. And Brandon? That's between you and him, but I'm cutting him off financially until he proves he can be their father. Later, as the reception wound down, Brandon approached the triplets nervously. Emma, ever the protector, stood in front of her sisters. "What do you want?" Emma demanded. "To know you," Brandon said, "if you'll let me." "You have to earn it," Emma said seriously. "That's what Mama says. You have to work for important things." "You're right." Brandon knelt to their level. "I'll work as hard as I need to." Sophia, more forgiving, stepped forward. "Do you like coloring?" I don't know. I haven't colored in a long time." "We can teach you," Sophia said, "if you come visit." 6 months later, Brandon had moved to a modest apartment near Layla's place. He saw the girls twice a week, supervised at first, slowly building trust. He was in therapy, working through the cowardice that had defined his choices. Elsie's wedding video went viral, 12 million views. The wedding that exposed a family secret became a national conversation about accountability, abandonment, and the children who pay for their parents' choices. But for Layla, the most important change was watching her daughters finally have what they'd always deserved. A father willing to show up, even if he was 6 years late. If this story reminded you that the truth always finds its way to light, that children deserve better than our cowardice, and that it's never too late to do the right thing, carry that forward. These stories exist because someone needs to hear them. One final time. Tell us where you're watching from, because every voice here says that accountability matters, that love requires courage, and that the hardest truths are the ones most worth telling.